Hello there, this is the Rock Art Gallery in the waterfront in Cape Town. I'm going to introduce Gary Trower to you. He's going to do a little bit of talking about some of the paintings to be found in the mountains. I also am busy with an art exhibition of the Mayan calendar. And this is the gallery and all the paintings in the exhibition. This is the cave where Gary will give a little talk about some of the paintings in this cave that I have made in the Rock Art Gallery in the waterfront. And I introduce Gary to you now.
Yeah, I just wanted to briefly just explain some of these paintings. Some of these are Sean's own stylized paintings and others are actually depictions of real rock art. This over here you can actually see men bleeding from the nose. It's a common misconception that all shamans bleed from the nose, but that is not actually true. Very few medicine people actually do bleed from the nose. It's only those that they say have weak medicine or can't control the mum yet when they're still in training or whatever, then they bleed from the nose. But in general, experienced healers do not bleed from the nose, so that's showing somebody that medicine is not strong enough yet. Out of all the dancers I've been to and the people I've spoken to, I only know of one incident of a guy that actually filmed Bushmen bleeding from the nose, but that's not a very common thing that happens. Okay, in addition, handprints. Handprints are more commonly associated with Khoikhoi. Khoikhoi are herder people, pastoralists that came into southern Africa between 1.8 and 1,800 and 2,000 years ago. They probably first hit the coast in northern Namibia or southern Angola, and then from there they migrated south and entered into southern Africa. So they, no one really knows exactly who did the handprints, but they think that it relates to people that were going through puberty as part of their initiation. So handprints are generally more associated with Khoikhoi holders than actually Bushmen themselves. And over here, Bushmen also depicted historical events. There's one painting of a ship, and there's also a painting of men on horseback, people with cattle, so that's more recent stuff. This painting is actually from a scene depicting Europeans actually shooting the Bushmen, and the complete scene of this actually shows the Bushmen being shot, and they actually show the bullet traveling through the air and hitting one of the Bushmen. So this is part of that scene of depicting Europeans actually exterminating Bushmen. And then over here, this is a scene that comes from the Cederberg. Generally hunting scenes are very rare, but occasionally you do actually find scenes depicting men hunting. And then over here you can see a lady with her digging stick. Women were generally gatherers, although there are recorded incidences of women actually bringing meat home. You know, if a woman comes across a tortoise or a young antelope, she will also kill it and bring it back to the camp. So if women were opportunists, they would also actually bring meat back to the camp. So there you can actually see her large buttocks, her breasts, and her digging stick in her hand. And over here, this painting, if I can just move to the side, you can actually see it's these are called dancing sticks, and when people enter trance, they actually lean on their dancing sticks so they don't fall over. So when I was in Botswana, I witnessed numerous people dancing with dancing sticks, but they never actually leaned on them. They would just dance with them as part of the dance. And occasionally men would dance with two sticks, but generally they'd only dance with one stick. So this practice of leaning on dance sticks doesn't seem to still exist today amongst the modern Bushmen. For them, dancing with sticks is more of a stylized thing than a practical thing. And over here we also have therianthropes. Therianthropes are apparently depictions of either ancestral beings, they call them people of the early race, or they could also depict medicine people that have shapeshifted in trance into different animals. They're very commonly depicted as Reebok or Eland therianthropes. And over here we have a depiction of the Eland and another one over here. Eland are very sacred to the Bushmen. They have a supernatural potency called mum. They have a lot of body fat. They're also apparently God's favorite animal. And they say where there's large herds of eland, that's where God is very close by. So when they say when you hear God calling the eland, they all go running towards him. And another interesting thing about the eland is that they are pregnant for the same time period as humans, for 10 lunar months. And another thing is that they the knees, well, scientists are not exactly sure what makes the noise, but they think it originates from the knees. But the knees of the eland makes a clicking noise in the Bushman language, is obviously a click language. So that's another similarity between the eland, or metaphorical association between eland and Bushmen themselves. And then lastly over here you can see men carrying arrows. There are two types of hunting bows. The one bow is just a straight bow, then you get another bow called a triple curve bow, which has got 3 curves, which is obviously more powerful. And the arrowheads are made out of stone, bone or ivory. They also used hardened wood, and various poisons were used, including poisonous bulbs, poisonous plants, snake, spider and scorpion venom, as well as a poisonous grub known as diamphidia. So the poisons are generally neurotoxins, attack the central nervous system and paralyze the animal. Basically that's just a little bit of information on the paintings of the sun or the Bushman, and I hope it's been helpful and educational. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much, Gary Trower. That's Gary, who's had a lifelong and passion to help the Bushmen and to understand their spiritual plight, and I thank you, Gary.
It's a pleasure.